So I'm not going to lie, right? I was sitting there the other day. I was like watching a Ballad Angel video or something on my phone. I really can't remember what it was, but I got a random notification that actually said that Justin Bieber is dropping a surprise album tonight. And I was like, you know, I've been hearing that for years. There's no way that's true. And I click on it and it was like billboards in like, I think it was Iceland and a couple other different countries started to emerge, mainly America. And of course, it was revealed that Justin Bieber would randomly be doing a surprise album drop of his 7th album, which he was calling it Swag. Yeah, the album the album is called Swag. And 2025 is a little bit crazy, but I mean, swag, what you gonna do? Chilling by the fire while we're in fondue. But at the end of the day, I think most of us were really shocked about this because I don't think we really thought that Justin Bieber was ever going to be really dropping again. You know, like a couple of years ago, it was revealed that Justin Bieber actually sold all of the rights to his music. And, you know, that was after he hadn't dropped an album already for like 2 years. And I think there were other reports at the time that said that JB had retired and he was pretty much done with music. And I think we were all a little bit shocked, especially considering just a year or so before he retired and sold all his music rights, it was actually revealed that he was working on a 7th album. Again, this 7th album started production in 2022, shortly after, of course, JB released Justice, and was said to have some really big features on it. Again, there was a little report, I think by the Rolling Stone, of Ed Sheeran confirming that he and JB had a song together, which was, of course, rumored to be on his 7th album. Then there was reports and leaks of Jungkook from BTS, and he was making a song with JB. Again, there was even leaked pictures of them actually in a studio together, working on a song. Again, other leaks saying there was a Kid Laroi song on the way. There was a Charlie Puth song on the way. Again, basically just the most pop record you could absolutely ever think of. And at the time, it was really interesting, but then there were also the reports that JB himself was not really keen on making just a full-focused pop album. Again, reports saying that Justin Bieber wasn't exactly too happy with his record label, wasn't too happy with Scooter Braun and others pushing him to do this strictly focused pop album that would have Ed Sheeran on it, Jungkook. You know, a couple people it just didn't seem like JB really wanted to collab with again. And look, I'm sure he had no problem collabing with those guys, but the reality is it seemed like for his 7th album, he wanted to move in a new direction. Again, he made the song with Don Toliver, and it really looked like we were going to be getting an R&B, you know, kind of rap pop focused album, and then just nothing. Complete silence for years until 2025, where multiple reports came out saying that Justin Bieber, of course, owed Scooter Braun quite a fair bit of money. There was a massive breakup between the two parties, massive record label issues, massive issues with JB apparently being in, you know, I wouldn't say debt, but owing a couple people a ton of money. Again, those reports kind of ended up being true because, as we know, Justin Bieber recently just agreed to pay Scooter Braun a massive sum. And why this is really interesting is some believe right now the 7th album that we just got, the random surprise 7th album drop, was to actually go towards paying Scooter Braun and all the other people he owed money to. Again, there's a ton of reasons why he owed these people money. I'm not going to talk about that because I really don't care. At the end of the day, Justin Bieber is one of my favorite artists of all time, one of the goats of all music, arguably my favorite artist of all time. And I was just absolutely so excited to listen to it, and I kind of went into it thinking it's going to be this really, you know, big R&B rap style album that we were kind of, you know, promised a couple years ago, that JB did get his way in the end, and He wasn't making music with pop stars like Ed Sheeran, Charlie Puth, and Jungkook anymore. And he was going to start doing some R&B focused stuff. But again, that's not really what this album is. Again, I definitely feel like it takes inspiration from a lot of different things like that, especially with the Gunna collab and the Sexy Red collab. But at the end of the day, while I'm listening to this album, it's got a new sound on it that I don't think really have heard Justin Bieber, do as of yet. Again, Justice had a lot of different flavors on it. There was a lot of pop. There was some slight bit of EDM in it. There was some Afro pop music, which I was so excited. I love that. Loved by You is one of my all-time favorite Justin Bieber songs. And I was kind of hoping we would see some of that in this new album as well. And I think there's definitely inspirations and bits and pieces from all of that. But at the end of the day, this to me feels like a really big, soulful pop album. An album that was really made by the heart, made in the heart by JB, that is, I wouldn't say radio flavor, like it's definitely so not radio flavor, and definitely so not the radio flavor Scooter Braun and whatnot originally wanted the album to be, but it's definitely not R&B, and there's definitely not like a Don Toliver collab or anything like that, which I really thought we were going to get. Instead, he went down so many different directions. There's really not too many collabs on this album at all. Again, if you take away Drewski being on 3 songs as like a podcast session they were kind of having, really there's Gunna, Sexy Red, I think Eddie Benjamin, and like 2 others, and the roles of these other artists on the album are really not too big, and this to me seems like a really big, from the heart, Justin Bieber type of album that is really trending towards what is modern music maybe supposed to be, or maybe what JB envisions it to be. Again, modern music definitely has changed over the last couple years. I think for a long time there, you had like that SoundCloud rap era, on radio. There'd still be, after that, there was some rap, but nowadays the music I think is very different, especially on the radios. You got a ton of country music, a ton of pop music, obviously. Definitely trended a little bit different towards that rap R&B kind of thing. JB though, this is soul music in my opinion. This is some really soulful stuff here. And there are a couple of absolute bangers on this album. Again, I actually really like the first song on this album. That is a really good introduction to it. I believe it was actually a Chris Brown song originally. Again, it's called All I Can Take. I absolutely love it. There's definitely some other good songs on here. I think the song with Gunna goes alright. The song Swag is actually kind of good, even though the name may not be a name of a song you would hear in 2025. And then, obviously, the song that, in my opinion, I just have not been able to stop listening to for days now. It does happen to be Walking Away. If you haven't, listened to Walking Away yet, track number 10 on the album, do yourself a favor and absolutely go and listen to it. It is really good. It will probably be, in my opinion, one of Justin Bieber's best ever songs. Again, Loved by You was definitely my favorite song on the last album, as well as a couple other different things. But this is definitely my favorite song so far on this album. I have been addicted to Walking Away for quite a bit, and I hope it gets the radio play. I don't know if it will. I don't know if they're going to make it a single. There's not particularly a single from this album. I think Daisy, did get declared as a single, but there's no music video attached to it. There was no marketing really for this album other than him just taking pictures of himself working on the album in studio like every day for the last 6 months. But let's be honest here, none of us really thought this album was ever going to come, so I don't know why and how it happened. It's really a rogue production that has just been released out of nowhere. Again, is it my favorite Justin Bieber album? Definitely not. It's so far off my favorite Justin Bieber album. Again, I'm a massive sucker for Purpose. I think most of us would agree that Purpose is probably his best album. Again, if we're counting Journals as an album, even though I think it's a compilation album, a lot of people like that. But at the end of the day, Purpose and Justice are my two babies, man. I love those two albums. I listen to those two albums all the time. This album kind of ranks in the middle for me. There are a lot of parts of it where I hear some people saying the album seems rushed, and you can tell that half the songs on the album have been made over the 6 months that he was teasing, and the other half may have been made a lot more recently, maybe a little bit more rushed, especially considering the Drewski podcast seems very new on it, as well as a couple of the other topics he talks about in the songs. Yeah, I can see that, but honestly, the first half of the album is pretty solid, I will say. But I really don't know. I don't know what the future is going to look like for Justin Bieber. In my opinion, like, I can't see him doing a tour or really coming back to music. I think this was just a passion project that he's been doing for fun. But I think he just released, honestly, to pay back, I guess, people he owed, and maybe he'll just go into the sun and we won't see him again. I don't know. I mean, we thought that last time and then this happened. So I'm not going to say he won't ever drop again. But of course, I'd very much like to hear all your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Have you guys listened to Justin Bieber's new album or have you not? Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Subscribe to my gaming/movie channel, which will be getting linked down below as well. And I guess I'll be seeing you guys next time. Goodbye.